Hold on, did Cameron just go too far? The leaked video may have ruined his decades-long relationship with Jim Jones, and this time it's not a publicity stunt. A video of Chrissy Lekin's private and intimate moments has surfaced. But here's the part. Insiders are accusing Cameron of being responsible for this. Was it a simple, petty maneuver gone wrong? Or was it a deliberate treachery intended to humiliate Jim in the most heinous way possible? Jim isn't remaining silent anymore. He's erupting across all platforms, releasing decades of suppressed emotions. We're talking about secret agreements, lost opportunities, and a brotherhood that may have been a lie all along. Have you ever seen two monarchs turn into foes in real time? Isn't a divorce the demolition of the entire set? And believe me when I say that what you're about to hear will forever alter your perception of Cameron, because the truth is not only shocking, also ugly. Once you hear it, you won't be able to ignore it. So avoid blinking, scrolling, and clicking away. It's the beginning of the end. You would think that after all these years of sadness, there would be an unwritten line that Cameron wouldn't dare cross between loyalty, street brotherhood, and a shared ascent to hip-hop royalty. But it seems that loyalty dies in quiet, because what has transpired is not just betrayal, it's nuclear. Let's go back in time. It all began with a leak, but not just any leak. This one was emotionally and graphically offensive. A private video of Chrissy Lekin, Jim Jones's longtime partner and a highly esteemed matriarch figure, appeared unexpectedly on a dubious burner Twitter account with no followers, no tags, and just the video with no captions appeared on the timeline like a digital bomb. At first, people believed it to be a deepfake, but after a few hours, Chrissy's face became popular. And the internet did what it does best. Detective mode edits began to appear, along with TikTok reactions. Went viral, and before anybody could verify or refute the veracity of the film, Twitter was saying Cam did it. But why would Cameron release such a video? What could he possibly stand to gain by disclosing something so private? Was it retaliation, spite, or something else? Let's take a moment to discuss history, because this wasn't the first instance of conflict between Cam and Jim. See? Dipset was never as perfect as it appeared from the outside, hidden behind the colorful bandanas and music videos. But as their empire evolved, more cracks began to appear. There were times when subtle digs were made in interviews, and there was constant tension. Power plays, backdoor business tactics, and silent conflict about who actually led the crew. Cameron, the charismatic intellect; Jim Jones, the heart and street muscle. Then there were the explosive times, such as the notorious 2017 Hot 97 interview, where Cam revealed everything from internal rivalries to financial betrayals. Jim sobbed, but Cam played it cool. Fans were perplexed, but the core Dipset audience members were aware that was a wound that would never heal. Fast forward to 2025, and we're back in that pain. But this time, it's Chrissy, rather than music or family. What's worse is the relationship between Chrissy and Cameron. You recall the early 2000s, when there were always rumors that Cam didn't approve of Chrissy because he believed she was controlling Jim's business decisions. Some even said Cam tried to persuade Jim to leave her so he could concentrate on his music career. Chrissy was a mainstay on the scene, not only as Jim's partner, but also as a savvy industry woman making real moves. Less domesticated in retrospect, allowed all that old animosity to explode in the most unsettling way possible. At the time, it seemed like harmless barbershop talk. The people who spoke to us anonymously for their own safety claimed that the film was shot more than 10 years ago and that it was a private moment that was never supposed to be seen, but it happened. However, this is where things become even more strange. According to one insider, that Cam apparently took the film after the team split up in the middle of the 2010s breakdown. It was saved on a no-defunct Dipset hard drive that only a select few people ever had access to. Was it a coincidence or a premeditated act of retaliation? It was even more stunning just days before the leak. Jim didn't remain silent for long. If this leak did originate from Cam's camp, was it planned? Was he playing while planning to deliver a bomb? Jim and Cam were seen together at a Rock Nation brunch, laughing like old friends, smiling for photos, and even hinting about a potential Dipsatrunion tour. Jim Jones posted a black screen to his Instagram story with the simple words, "I see you," less than 24 hours after the video went viral. Fans' comments were frantic. "It's Cam. He did it. Dipset dead forever. Jim going solo. Watch." And then the real clapback occurred on Instagram Live in an unfiltered raw live stream. "I don't care what you think. This man has been envious of me since day one." Jim spat into the camera. "You don't touch family. You don't play with my girlfriend." That video isn't an accident that attracted over 120K viewers in a matter of minutes. Jim let loose without a script or a public relations staff. It was sent with the intention of hurting me. The comment area was ablaze with emojis. Viewers were crying. And even lifelong Dipset fans were taking sides. But Jim continued by bringing up past issues. "This is the same man who denied me tour funds in 2011 and who told labels I was untrustworthy. I held it wasn't just a personal betrayal anymore. It was a public declaration of war." The internet was ablaze with think pieces, podcast segments, and Twitter spaces discussing if Jim was being emotional. "This team downed me, and now you want to sling dirt on Chrissy. You're a clown, a full clown." Or whether Cam had truly gone too far, and the fact that he remained silent only made matters worse. Chrissy Lampkin is renowned for being silent for 10 years, whereas Cam did not tweet, make a statement, or deny anything. Some wounds cut too deep. No names, no faces, but we all knew this wasn't just beef. This was betrayal at the soul level. And just when things seemed hopeless, she took a rare step of her own and unfollowed Cam on all platforms, archived every photo that featured him, and posted a mysterious message on her story. If the alleged text messages between Cam and an unidentified industry friend discussing a plan to leak something spicy to harm Jim's brand before a big business deal are accurate, this goes beyond petty drama and his career sabotage. It couldn't get any more toxic. An anonymous source revealed something even darker. The worst part is that Cam has yet to deny them, which raises the issue of whether he actually did it. Why isn't he defending himself? And why remain silent while your reputation is being dragged through digital purgatory? Or perhaps Cam knew that day would come and was prepared to burn everything down, and that's exactly what we believed. We thought we had achieved the pinnacle of mayhem, but then something even more unexpected occurred, and things took a crazy turn just when Jim Jones believed he had revealed every secret Cameron might be concealing. New layers of treachery began to deception. The texts, yes, were real, but this is where things get really spicy. The leak wasn't only about the video, however. According to those with knowledge of the matter, these purportedly private messages between Cam and an unidentified industry insider paint a much darker picture. Cam allegedly stated in one of the messages, "The right amount of dirt can break him down. Let's hit him where it hurts. His woman, his money, his fans. Smear campaign to ruin his reputation in the industry." The message also explained how this industry friend supposedly instructed Cam to keep it low-key. But Instagram Live T just changed the game. It changed the discourse completely. Jim Jones's lady, money, fans, and everything else he values were all turned into tools in Cam's nasty game of retaliation. Dipset's entire legacy. The public's opinion of the crew was about to take a serious hit, with both industry insiders and fans beginning to wonder if all those years of devotion were just a botched business deal. The internet was ablaze with, let's take a moment to consider whether Cam actually leaked that video as part of a bigger conspiracy. Everyone was a detective. Is Cam behind this? Was he trying to force Jim out of Dipset all along? Could be a calculated attempt to regain control of the group. The most premeditated action in hip-hop history would be to plan to destroy Jim. Imagine taking down a brother with the most personal betrayals, damaging not just his profession, but also his personal life in the process, all while remaining silent. Cam chose to remain silent about it. Fans began investigating his past right away, and some unsettling trends emerged. In a Twitter thread that the internet fans unearthed several old pictures of Cam with other rappers' ex-friends who had been discarded once they were no longer needed. It became evident that Cam wasn't just famous for his hits. He was also known for creating enemies. If you cross him, you're done. His power move was the silent treatment. He knew that Jim would lose and was enjoying the show when he did so. However, this is where, according to some sources, the leaks didn't end with Chrissy's video. No, we're talking about financial papers, personal messages, and images that were given to blog. This is where things get crazy. An unidentified third party, who had previously been connected to both Jim and Cam, whom we'll refer to as the puppet master, reportedly contacted Jim and Cam separately, offering them exclusive interviews and even attempting to arrange a purported reunion between the two. The catch was that they intended to control the story, make money out of the quarrel, make it public, and transform the entire thing into a spectacle. The puppet master's ultimate goal was to intensify the conflict until it reached a breaking point. So the two ex-brothers could never conciliate. This was the ultimate betrayal. It wasn't just business. At the core of it all, is Jim, the one behind the scenes? Or is there something more sinister at work? Whatever the truth is, we can't deny one thing. The consequences of this scandal will not only impact this is the last chapter in this incredible story, where the destruction is not only personal, but also public. And by public, we mean explosive, because friendship will their legacies, music, fans, and lives, and we have only just begun to explore it. The entire industry trembles when legends fall out in the most devastating way possible. It's not just about Jim and Cam anymore. It's about the entire culture of loyalty, treachery, and ambition that keeps the hip-hop world together, and how that culture is disintegrating in real time. As the world saw this fight intensify, something darker began to emerge. The financial consequences of this treachery were beginning to hit harder than any lyric or diss track could, according to people close to Jim and Cam, who recalled their hands in numerous profitable business endeavors. Started to leak a troubling story about both men losing a lot of money. You might assume that these are merely rumors, but these are people who are deeply involved in their circles, including publicists, managers, and former labels executives who have all been affected by this industry feud, and it's terrible. Jim Jones, for instance, reportedly had multiple endorsement deals put on hold indefinitely, and his partnership with a well-known luxury brand was also put on hold. The brand couldn't afford the scandal that was damaging his reputation. Didn't want to be linked to the ongoing drama in his personal life. As for Cameron, it turns out that his attempt to revive his solo career hit a huge roadblock, with business partners abandoning him one by one, uncertain if siding with the rapper was the right move, worth the possible PR catastrophe. But even stranger were allegations of unpaid contracts, dubious financial transactions. And even that, Cam was being sued by a former label executive for allegedly mismanaging money. It was obvious that the drama Cam and Jim had to make some tough choices quickly or risk losing everything. Then came the lawsuits, which were the actual business side of the repercussions. It seemed like a legal storm had just arrived, bringing with it a barrage of accusations, counterclaims, and settlements. Initially, it was Jim Jones's turn. According to sources, Jim had formally sued Cameron for defamation, accusing him with slander, conspiracy, and mental distress as a result of the stolen film and the public attacks on his personal life that followed. Even more shocking was the rumor that Jim was demanding millions of dollars in damages and a public apology from Cam. The claim was so audacious that it caught even the most seasoned legal professionals off guard. Jim's legal team was ready to fight it all the way to trial and wasn't holding back. Cameron, however, wasn't going to take lying down. Instead, he responded with a counterclaim, claiming that Jim had been extorting him for years. He claimed that Jim had used their friendship to steal money and sway business transactions. And now he was looking for a sizable payout. The public's perception of both men began to deteriorate daily, and legal experts projected that this lawsuit would go on for years. Was this the end of their careers and legacies? This is where the true grief comes in. The fans, who have stood by them since the fans didn't know who to believe at first, because they are the ones who are suffering the most from this mess. It's tearing them apart. Some sided with Jim, saying Cam had crossed a line, while others said Cam had good reason to feel betrayed. They are the ones who know every lyric and wore every Dipset chain like it was their own. It's difficult too. Ignore the growing rift between the two groups of Dipset supporters after years of watching Jim play second fiddle. But then the bombshells hit. As fans dug deeper into the story, the more they discovered, the more their allegiance was shattered. After the video leak went viral, leaked footage of Jim's emotional collapse appeared. One particularly disturbing clip showed him wondering, "Is this how they really feel about me after everything we've been through?" as he stared at his phone screen. On the other side, Cam went silent once more, unconcerned. His only public statement was a tweet that said, "The truth hurts sometimes." But it must be said, no explanation, no apology, just a cold, calculated statement that only fueled the flames further. He knew the impact it would have, but the longer he remained silent, the more people noticed a new side of him, the cunning, self-interested businessman who would stop at nothing to maintain power. While some supporters abandoned ship, others took to social media to defend their favorite artist. The entire Dipset fanbase was split, and the industry took, the more they quarreled, the less power they had. Their togetherness was eroding, and both men were to blame. The question was whether they could ever mend the damage, or if their actions permanently damaged the legacy they had created together. Now, let's talk about Chrissy Lumpkin, Jim's longtime partner, was, of course, the focus of the entire feud. As the drama developed, her name was also dragged through the mud. She had been publicly criticized, and it was obvious that she was caught in the middle of this mess. However, fans were unaware at the time that Chrissy was, whether or not Chrissy's role in this controversy was real. There were allegations that she had seen the tape before, was made public, and had been pressuring Jim to take action against Cam. In fact, some people even said that she had known about the treachery before the rest of the world did. Simply, was she really only a pawn in this game? Or did she have personal reasons for remaining silent as everything fell apart? The worst part is that it wasn't just about the men anymore. It was also about their families, reputations, and everything they had worked so hard to build over the years. The longer went on, the more those close to both men became embroiled in the aftermath. Those who had previously supported them were now separating themselves so as not to be caught in the crossfire of an uncontrollably escalating feud. At this point, we must ask, is there any chance that Jim and Cam can ever work things out again? Or is this dispute really the end of the Dipset era? The legacy they built over the years is now in jeopardy. And it's not only their reputations that are at stake, kids, their place in hip-hop history books. One thing is certain, though, the story isn't finished yet. The last chapters have not yet been written. The question that after everything that has happened is whether there will be any repercussions from this as the lawsuits pile up. Public opinion changes, and the music industry waits. The truth about the Jim Jones and Cameron feud, the shattered bond, and the explosive fallout that is rocking the hip-hop world are at the top of this epic battle of brotherhood, betrayal, and broken bonds. However, here's the real question, and I want to hear your thoughts. Who is at fault here? Was Cam's betrayal the cause that sparked it all? Or was Jim's own ambition and greed the catalyst? Tell me in the comments section below if you think they can ever work things out, or if this marks the end of Dipset's rule. If you liked this in-depth look at the chaos, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video. That concludes today's jaw-dropping story, but before you leave, I need to know what you believe Jim Jones is right to do. Watch with your friends. And of course, subscribe for more explosive stuff. I promise you won't want to miss what's coming. Tomorrow, if you haven't subscribed yet, please share your thoughts in the comments box below. I'm reading every single one of them, so I'd like to know if you're on Cameron's side or Jim's, or if you believe that this whole situation has been a complete mess from the beginning. We're just getting started, so you want to be here for the genuine tea. So don't forget to like and comment. What are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and enable notifications so you'll be the first to know when we release the next wild story, and share this video to continue the discourse. Until the next time, stay tuned and keep your eyes open. As always, we have the truth, and we're not scared to reveal. I'll see you in the following one.